Hi everybody, my name is Dennis and welcome back to another album review. Today we're reviewing the debut studio album from 6ix9ine entitled Dummy Boy. Now I know there is a lot of controversy revolving 6ix9ine right now, and frankly that's not going to factor into this review whatsoever. Honestly, I couldn't care less about what's going on. I'm not going to offer any opinion. I'm not a news site. I'm just judging the music. I'm not judging the person. So with that being said, I still didn't like this album very much. There were some decent tracks here and there. I mean, Kika was the standout song on the album, which Tory Lanez coming out of nowhere with the best feature on the album. Which, if like you told me Tory Lanez was going to be the best feature a few weeks ago, I would not have believed you whatsoever. But I mean, here he is with a really catchy hook. I mean, Kika's basically ZZ but better. I mean, it has a very similar tropical style beat. It's got a very similar tone to it. It's got a really catchy sound, but it actually has decent verses, unlike ZZ, and it has a catchy hook, unlike ZZ. I mean, granted, ZZ did have some decent moments here and there, but I mean, this one is the better but less popular version of that. I mean, a lot of the features were not so good, though. Because we have people like Nicki Minaj, who, I don't know what she was doing on this album. Whatever it wasn't good. Because she has an absolutely horrendous verse on Fifi, which, God, Fifi is such an atrocity of a song. I mean, it's difficult to put into words the badness of that song. It's got a really bland, really irritating, really I don't really want to say unmemorable because its awfulness makes it memorable. The beat's not good. It's not produced well at all. 6ix9ine's vocal delivery on this song is horrible at best. And although I do think Nicki Minaj did slightly better than him on this song, it's nothing worth noting. I mean, I honestly miss the Nicki Minaj from things like Monster off of Kanye West's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I want to hear more verses from her that are like that are energetic, that are full of so many different personalities, have so many different vocal inflections, and just so well rapped that you just can't help but gape your mouth at how amazing she's doing. And she just isn't doing anything near that quality as of late, and especially not on this album where... And I do think her work on Mama was slightly better off this album, but I mean, it's still nothing noteworthy. Kanye West, who is honestly one of my favorite rappers, I think that he has consistently made amazing albums, was a very disappointing feature on Mama. I didn't like his verse whatsoever. Really, Mama as a whole just wasn't impressive. I do think Kanye West did a slightly better on Kanga, but what really made Kanga enjoyable was an amazing beat. I think it would have been about the same with or without Kanye rapping on the song. But I mean, it has a really unique beat when compared to all the other songs in the album. That's actually really well produced, really enjoyable, and it was definitely one of the stronger songs off the album. From there we have a bunch of people who sound like they don't want to be here. Lil Baby off TikTok sounds like he doesn't want to be there. Anuel off of BB and Mala sounds like he doesn't want to be there whatsoever. And even though I do think Mala is the better of those two, which are both primarily, if not completely, in Spanish, if my memory serves me correct. Baby, I think it's Bebe actually, but yeah, that one has an extremely irritatingly light poppy beat. Anuel does nothing if not make this track more grating. 6ix9ine is abandoning a lot of his more screamish, aggressive style on a lot of these songs, and it honestly doesn't do him any favors. That's a lot of what makes Fifi so bland. That's what makes BB or Bebe or whatever, or Mala so boring a lot of times is just because he lacks that energy that he has in something like Kanga or something like Dummy, where he just sounds so angry. And there's nothing wrong with that sound as long as he doesn't quite overuse it. And even though I don't really care for the other sounds he's presenting on this album, I do think it overall helps to break up the screamish style that he has. I mean, that's not saying every angry song on this album is good. I mean, Tati is pretty forgettable. Wando is decent. I mean, I think Wando has a good beat. I think even FIFA has a good beat, but they're squandered by pretty forgettable verses, pretty forgettable performances. Gunna, once again, we have all these people who sound like they just don't want to be on this album. Bobby Shmurda making an appearance on Stupid, though, was actually one of the stronger features on this album. Stupid wasn't one of my favorite songs by any means. I don't think the beat is all that amazing. I don't think 6ix9ine's work on the song is all that amazing. But Bobby Shmurda has a very standout appearance because he is recording his verse off of the jail telephone. He is in prison recording his verse. Using his one telephone call a week and uses it to record his verse for that song. And that is incredibly inventive, incredibly interesting, and actually works really well for this song. And I wish the rest of the song was that interesting, that inventive, but unfortunately it isn't. So definitely a standout moment, but by no means a standout song. Waka was one of the better songs on this album as well. Boogie with a Hoodie does a really nice job. Complements 6ix9ine's style pretty well, and they merge well together on a pretty good beat. Runs pretty smoothly. It's pretty nice. Dummy, like I mentioned before, is one of the better songs on the album, with Trife Drew, again, another surprisingly strong feature, one that I wouldn't have expected to do this well. And although it is very heavily auto-tuned, like, you can't miss it, it's really catchy. I can't deny that his verse, everything that Trife Drew does on this song is really catchy. And even though I would have liked to see 6ix9ine a bit more on this song, I do think it was one of the better tracks. And speaking of not seeing 6ix9ine very much on this song, there are a few songs where the features are a lot more prominent than 6ix9ine. And there are some songs like that where there are a lot of times, especially if there's a deep feature list, that they're gonna maybe outrun the original creator of the song in total time. But I mean, having one feature and it feels like their song featuring you, I mean, that happens with TikTok, that happens with Mama, that happens with Kanga. I mean, that happens all over the place, and it's just distracting. And it's unfortunate, because if it's your own album, you'd expect you'd be on it the most, but unfortunately, that leaves a lot of these songs to either be carried by the features, as we see on Waka or Kika, or to be completely let down, as we see on Fifi or Mama. So, overall, there were a few standout tracks here and there, but it's nothing impressive whatsoever. I'm feeling a strong 4. If you give this a listen, tell me what you thought about the album. Be sure to tell me how wrong my opinion is, as always, and I'll see you in the next review.